Welcome back, True Seeker. It is Monday, November 29th, 2021. Last night, Jonathan and I live stream on GematriaEffectNews 24, and we talked about the deaths of Virgil Abloh and more about Young Dolph. And in that stream, we were missing a piece of information that would have really connected those two stories. If you missed my work on Young Dolph's death, we went back and looked at his Instagram post from July 20th of this year, where he promoted his new album, which was 10 days away, Paper Route Illuminati, and he wrote, "Family, money, sacrifices. You can't provide for your family without money, and you can't make money without making sacrifices." Again, that was posted July 20th, which is the 201st day of the year. And again, this is a big number with the actual Illuminati in history. The real Illuminati was established May 1st, 1776, and its founder ended up dying November 18th in history, 201 days after its establishment. And he named it Order of Illuminati, which equals 201, like the Jesuit order. He was a member of the Jesuit order. Notice how Young Dolph had Paper Route Empire 201. Well, funny enough, on this same day, July 20th, 2021, Virgil Abloh was making a deal with Louis Vuitton. On this day, Louis Vuitton, July 20th, 2021, Louis Vuitton bought 60% of his company Off-White. And as I've pointed out many times before, these designer brands are mostly out of Italy and France, which are the Jesuit strongholds. And again, these Jesuit-owned entertainers are huge marketing tools for these companies. But on that same day, that was the day he was making his deal with Louis Vuitton out of France, just like the Jesuits. And there's a whole lot more to this, which I want to point out real quick, recap what we did last night. But I didn't have the 201 piece last night. I didn't know about his deal with Louis Vuitton. And then I found another piece of his Louis Vuitton history, which fits in perfect with the death ritual as well, which we'll also cover. So, from the top, he died on 11/28 reportedly. 1128 is the 47th triangular number. His brand Off-White has Gematria 47. You get that by using the alphabetic order and the rules numerology. So O is the 15th letter, right? The numerology of 15 is 1 plus 5 is 6, so O becomes 6. F is the 6th letter, so it's 6, so it's 666 white. But then W is the 23rd letter, 2 plus 3 is 5, so W becomes 5. H is the 8th letter, I is the 9th, T is the 20th. 20 in numerology is 2 plus 0 is 2, so T is 2. E is 5. You just make each letter a single-digit number and then add up the word. So it's 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 5 plus 8 plus 9 plus 2 plus 5, 47. Dead on 11/28, which is the 47th triangular number. Dead at 41, doing the same thing with his name Virgil, 41. And when you run the alphabetic order in reverse and use numerology, Vuitton is 41, and his death is perfectly synced with the anniversary of Louis Vuitton's, which we'll get to. But Kanye West is who made him very famous and popular. And I didn't know any of this before yesterday because, honestly, I'd never heard of Virgil Abloh. But I knew something was up because CNN and MSNBC, they made it their very top story, even drowning out Omicron. I was like, wow, when celebrities die, they don't normally get the top spot. Like, for example, today, Lee Elder's dead, who's the first black golfer to break the color barrier. At no point during the day has CNN made him the top story. And it seems like he'd get more respect, in my opinion, than Virgil Abloh. But the point is, CNN doesn't put most celebrity deaths as the top story. So when I saw this, I was like, there's something bigger to this. But notice, Kanye West, who made him famous, from his June 8th birthday to the death was Kanye's 174th day of being 44 years old. And they're saying this man died from cancer. Well, with regards to it being his 174th day of his age, number of the beast is 174th, the alphabetic order. Louis Vuitton out of France, beast in France, 47. Again, on this 47 date, on Kanye's 174th day of his age. Somebody pointed out that Kanye has lyrics about selling his soul, and at least he got some toys like a Happy Meal or something. So just another rapper who's put it out there that he sold his soul. But anyhow, and again, that's the only way to make it in mainstream show business. I mean, Bob Dylan explained that very clearly a long time ago. David Bowie put it on a record. A lot of people have been explaining it for a long time. Before hip-hop was even a thing, they were explaining this in rock and roll songs. But the day that he died was a date with a life lesson number of 44. And as we know, cancer, chemo, and killer 44. And not only that, but when we go back and look at when he signed his first deal, March 26, 2017, or maybe it was 2018. Must have been 2018. March 26, 2018. From signing that deal to his death, 44 months later. We'll get to how it all comes together. So it's just so obvious what a ritual this is. And once again, they report it as a cancer death just out of nowhere. He was quietly battling cancer. And then he just happened to become the latest celebrity to die while quietly battling cancer in connection to a big 44 ritual. Again, just things we've been documenting forever and ever. And while Kanye is 44 years old. And in Jewish gematria, kills also 59. He died exactly 59 days after his birthday. If you haven't read my first book, Letters and Numbers, the 18th chapter is about the killing and shaming of black people in connection to the numbers 59 and 42. He died in his 41st year of life, which means he died at age 41, which means he died in his 42nd year of life. November 28th leaves 33 days remaining in the year. In light of this being connected to Kanye West is 33 in the most pure cipher. And the other thing about November 28th, the other way to look at it is from November 28th through December 31st is a span of 34 days. In Gematria, France and Beast also equal 34, just as they both equal 47 like Beast. Black is 34, Murder's 34, Off-White's 34, LV for Louis Vuitton's 34. That's the easy one. L's the 12th letter, V's the 22nd, 12 plus 22. But again, just these are perfectly planned and scripted rituals, again and again. And in light of him dying at 41, Crucify equals 41. Kanye West, who dresses up as Jesus, who has the alias Yeezus, who came out with the big single at first, Jesus Walks. This death was on a Sunday. Sunday has the Gematria 33 like Bible like Kanye West. Jesus supposedly crucified at 33. Again, all of this stuff is Jesuit and Catholic. Sunday, the Jesuit Catholic day. I had to go back and look at where Kanye mentions his name in a song. He has a song called I Am a God, Kanye West. I Am a God equals 139, which is the 34th prime number. And he says Virgil Pyrex. That's something about, I don't know a lot about Virgil, but it's some, brand or clothing item he had in the past. But I noticed that Pyrex is also 34. So perfect. So, and then I suppose yesterday one of the stories was that Kanye West, he used the Adele song Easy on Me, which has gematria of 34, 38, 97. If you're new here, here's how you get these numbers for these words. It's just based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. Easy on Me has these numbers, 34, 38, 97. The 119 is important too, really. That one connects with arsenic. But abbreviated AS, A1, S19, known for, it's the Jesuits' favorite way of killing people throughout history. Arsenic, the 33rd element on the periodic table that also equals 33. It's abbreviated AS. A is 1, S is 19, 119. But with regards to the 34, 38, 97, again, murder's got the 34, 38, and death has the 38, 97. And we see these numbers come together all the time in hip-hop. Tupac gets shot on the date 9/7, the 25th prime, dies at age 25, and dies on a date with 38 numerology. And again, just same repetitious patterns over and over. Notorious B.I.G. dies in 97 on a 38 date numerology. Notorious, 97. Again, death, 38, 97. So, with regards to how a lot of the media portrayed him, just like the story up here, like what I used for the thumbnail, USA Today, when he died, went with this thumbnail of Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. And I've always talked about the Kardashians in the number 41, but look at this. From her 41st birthday to his death is 38 days later. And Kardashian in the most pure ciphers, 41 like triangle, like pyramid, the symbol of the Illuminati, right? Just like young Dolph making the pyramid around his eye. And then he died on the 321st day of the year, and the pyramid in Memphis is 321 feet tall. And the pyramids at Giza, 201 layers remaining of stone. Anyhow, 38 days after her 41st birthday, and as we know, Murder by Numbers, the movie poster. This movie came out while Sandra Bullock, the star of it, was 38 years old. The movie poster codes the 3 and 8 in the words. And Murder has the Gematria 3883, the song Murder by Numbers by the Police in 83, Sandra Bullock 83, Killing Death, R.I.P., Gematria, English, Kabbalah, all 38. That's where this practice of coding numbers into words comes from, Kabbalah. It's called Gematria. Again, there's a song called Gematria, the Killing Name. But, yeah, just the rituals, they are so perfect. And again, it shows you why these people were chosen and put in the arranged marriages and paired together. Again, all this stuff is planned out. This stuff's more theater than... the stuff we see in the mainstream is theater. I mean, it's contrived theater day after day. And remember, death sells. So I don't know if these people are really dying or not, but regardless, a lot of money's being made off of it. And, again, 18th chapter of my first book, all about the 59 stamp. Why Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year, why Motown came out in 59, and since then, from that book up to now, we've covered 1 million more stories just like this. And now Virgil Abloh becomes the latest. Born September 30th, dead November 28th, 59 days later. It's 8 weeks and 3 days, too. Think about that. Murder 83, like we were just saying. But Slave, Negro, Blues, Rasta, all 59. And he died on a date with 60 numerology. The N-word equals 60. And Louis Vuitton, on July 20th, bought 60% of Off-White, his brand. And remember, he dies on this day, 11/28, the 47th triangular. And Off-White's 47, like France, where Louis Vuitton's from. Like Beast, fitting in with the Kanye West Number of the Beast ritual. And when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, as we talked about, Order of Illuminati is 201, but in reverse it's 258. When you write out November 28th, it's also 258. Isn't that interesting? How it connects with Number of the Beast, the date, and it also connects to just the word beast. And Off-White, with the most simple ciphers, 92. With the numerology, it's 47. Louis Vuitton died in 1892 on February 27th. And from his death anniversary to the death of Virgil is 274 days later. The Jesuit motto, Isus hominum salvator, is 274 in the most simple cipher. It's 85 when you use the rules of numerology. And notice, this man, he became the artistic director of Louis Vuitton's menswear on March 26th, the 85th day of 2018. See how they do it? And again, these two ciphers are the ones I started with in 2013. I learned them right from Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages. This is all I had to work with when I first started. And just from that, I was able to just see how enough of these rituals fit together so perfectly. And I was like, it's amazing how they use these two ciphers to do all this stuff. So you got to look at this and go, okay, what are the odds of that? He starts with Louis Vuitton on the 85th day of the year and ends up dying 274 days after the anniversary of Louis Vuitton's death. And again, it's not like we just started saying just yesterday. It's not just like all of a sudden it's a new epiphany like, oh, Louis Vuitton and these fashion wares are connected to the Jesuits. No, we've been showing this again and again through 1 million different examples, that it's clear that the Jesuits control these companies. This is how they milk the people of the world. Like I was saying last night, you look at the biggest, most powerful companies in the world, up at the top are mostly all technology, oil, automobiles, because everyone's, consuming energy and using these products worldwide. But then even above the majority of those companies are companies like Louis Vuitton and Gucci. They're up above them. And think about that. They have such a much smaller consumer base, but they have more financial power than these companies that are serving almost all of humanity because they are ripping people off charging them a gazillion dollars for shit that's not worth anymore. Like, is the materials in a Gucci and Louis Vuitton bag that much more expensive than a Michael Kors bag, or God forbid, even another bag that cost even way less than Michael Kors? No. People are paying for these brands, and they're paying fortunes because it's all about status and keeping up with the Kardashians or the Joneses or whatever it was before that. And again, it's just like last night we were looking at lyrics in hip-hop music from the 90s about how it's not all about materialism, and we're like, look how all people, that's not the message anymore on the radio. Now it's all about these brands because they realize that kind of message doesn't make money for Gucci and Louis Vuitton. You got to own these rappers. You got to own these entertainers because they're going to make a lot of money for you as long as they're talking about your products. And isn't it funny that Kanye started off with like making fun of people spending their money on these things, these brands they can't even pronounce? I forget what his verse is, but I know he has some little joke lyric about how people spend all their money on these brands that they can't even pronounce, you know? And now he's the guy, he's the N in Paris, you know, marketing all this, being about all this. It's like it's all right in front of your face. But yeah, he was made the guy with Louis Vuitton on the 85th day of the year. Then boom, dead 274 days after the anniversary. At least so we're told. And here's the other thing. From that date, March 26th to November 28th, 44 months and 2 days later. 44 months though, you know. Dead on the 44 date numerology, cancer, chemo, kill, 44. Black history in 44. We're just talking about with Young Dolph, right? Young Dolph died on the day leaving 44 days left in the year, and the same town MLK was killed on 4-4. In a similar way to Malcolm X, who died on a date with 44 numerology. I saw MLK's nephew was killed a few years back in Mexico City on May 9th. I missed that story. I was like, look at that. It just came up the other day when I was looking at the death of his daughter. His daughter, who's got very broad shoulders, she died 39 weeks after the anniversary of his death on the day leaving 39 days left in the year. Him and MLK were killed at age 39. It's also 191 weeks and days later. Remember, Society of Jesus is 191. And 56, the day that he was made the head of, Louis Vuitton's menwear, 26/3. That's like 263, the 56 prime. That's Nancy Pelosi's birthday. Nancy Pelosi equals 56. Comes from a Catholic family. Washington, D.C., 56. Jesuit stronghold. Paris, France, 56. And don't forget, Kanye's got the 56 as well. And again, just black man in White Sox hat. White Sox equals 42. He's from Illinois. Kanye's originally from Atlanta, but he claims Chicago is a city. Obama was a big White Sox fan. NWA's from LA. They all wore the White Sox cap. We've noticed over the years a lot of these black celebrities that have passed through the news who've died, they've put them in the news in an image in a White Sox hat. It's happened many times. And I've said, well, we know what they're doing with this White Sox hat. It's because White Sox is 42. There's these numbers. They just got to stamp in the rituals again and again. And yeah, I mean, add this one to the 201 collection. It wasn't that long ago. It was just on the 201st day of this year that he sells 60% of his off-white company to Louis Vuitton, and then he's dead on a 60-date numerology. This stuff is literally black and white. So. Okay, yeah, I think that was the majority of that one. If you missed all the work on Young Dolph, I mean, it's out there. Watch Jonathan and I's live stream last night. I found out something new from his Instagram. And again, just to understand how wild this stuff is, Young Dolph killed on the day leaving 44 days left in the year, and then that same day, Memphis has a super rare earthquake when I've been here for 8 years straight educating about shootings and earthquakes in 44. I mean, the first tweet I put out the day of this shooting, 12 hours before the news broke of his death, was look out for the big shooting news today. It's just clockwork what they do. Lee Elder being dead in the news today, and again, not getting any top headline spot at all. In fact, his headline was buried. So, Tony Bennett leaving the stage, that's top news. Jesus Christ superstar actor accused in Capitol riot claimed divine authority. Remember the January 6th thing was a huge 201 ritual. It's the Jesuits, the Society of Jesus. So now we got Jesus Christ superstar, of course. This Omicron thing is a total joke, from Africa, the big news on Black Friday. I mean, the mockery couldn't be any more clear. The full star name for Omicron in Pisces was 201. Of course, Event 201 was the coronavirus pandemic simulation. But I was scanning through the headlines, and it let me see if they still got it way down here. See, look at where they got this at. This is the Lee Elder story. First black golfer to play at the Masters dies at 87. Like, that's why, and I know I've known the name Lee Elder for a long time. I think a lot of people know the name Lee Elder. But again, just the point about celebrity deaths happen a lot, and they rarely make the top spot. That's why when I saw this guy at the top yesterday and I didn't know who he was, I was like, what is going on? What am I missing here? Louis Vuitton, Black Friday consumer weekend. Those were my initial thoughts, and that definitely factors into it. A black guy who's with Louis Vuitton is dead the weekend of Black Friday deals, right? But Lee Elder dying at 87. He was in the Masters in 1975, the year Jack Nicklaus won it. And Lee Elder's full name, Robert Lee Elder is his real name, is 81. Jack Nicklaus is 81 right now. We know there's a lot of rituals with 81. Part of the reason I've been saying I don't think Joe Biden's going to make it past his 81st year as president, if he doesn't die, he'll be removed from office, is because President Biden's 81 and he's supposedly got 81 million votes. They do a lot of rituals with 81. And notice the word ritual is 81 forwards and backwards. But right now, Jack Nicklaus is 81, and guess how many weeks from his birthday to the death was? 44 weeks and 4 days after Jack Nicklaus's 81st birthday, Robert Lee Elder is dead, And you see the 14472 in his name? Jesuit order, 14472. Let me see if I can spell Tiger Woods' name. Eldrick Taunt Woods. Yeah, that's Tiger's full name. Eldrick Taunt Woods, 72 as well. 72, huge number with the Jesuits. Huge number. I see what's going on here. And don't forget, just the short name, Tiger Woods, 54 forwards and backwards, just like Jesuit order, 54. Tiger Woods supposedly in a car crash on the 54th day of the year. Again, Jesuits controlling the whole damn show. But Lee Elder's dead at 87, right? And to ask why they, dropped Robert and just went by Lee Elder, it's not hard to see. Lee Elder has the 42 in it, also the 39. Again, numbers all over Black history. Martin, 42. Malcolm X, 42. Both dead at 39. 39 books in the Old Testament. 42 generations to Jesus. Both the Old Testament and the New Testament point right back to darker complected people with hair like wool. All of this stuff is biblical. Again, it's the Jesuits, the Society of Jesus. And if he took his actual first name, Robert Elder, 59. Another 42-59 combo. But notice, he's dead at 87, right? He's dead at 87. Jack Nicklaus is 81 right now. Remember where these numbers link up. Number of the Beast has Gematria of 87. And in that same cipher, Mark of the Beast is 81. And remember, in that same cipher, Kobe Bean Bryant is 81, who scored 81 in his 666th career game. On January 22nd, 122, like Satanic's 122. Again, the way they bring these number combinations together over and over, you just can't deny it. And how long does the beast rule for in Revelation? 42 months. Number of the beast, 87. The beast rules for 42 months. We were just talking about this with the Omicron and 666 rituals. Again, Omicron making the news 666 days after the World Health Organization declares a global emergency over COVID. Omicron, 8742. Then the next day, the UK confirms they have strains of it in their country, 666 days after the first confirmed case in their country. And again, throughout the whole pandemic, these same numbers getting used over and over in a million different ways. 87, 42, And again, 42 stamped all over Black history. This is the big international news on Black Friday out of Africa. You know what I mean? So, by the way, from Lee Elder's birthday to his death, span of 139 days, the 34th prime. Again, Black and Murderer 34. Jack Nicklaus is 34. The Bavarian Illuminati 139, the 34th prime. Tupac dead on 13/9. Tupac Shakur 139. Tupac 34. Jesus 34. Him on the Machiavelli cover released on the big Society of Jesus Day. Remember the 5th of November. And again, that's the day leaving 56 days left in the year. But just last night, Jonathan and I, just like we do almost every episode, just going down the same old numbers. If you watch last night's show and then the Lee Elder news, I mean, we covered all these numbers last night. 87, 42, 139, 34. So. Oh, by the way, with regards to the 81, and Jack Nicklaus being 81 and Robert Lee Elder being 81, he's dead on a date with 81 numerology. Today has 81 date numerology. You know what else? That's one more thing I missed yesterday. So Virgil, who died yesterday had 80 date numerology. Bavarian Illuminati's 80 and the most pure. The Illuminati was established as Bavarian Illuminati and then renamed Order of Illuminati. You see how these numbers come together a lot. So. Also, the weekend of Black Friday, Charles Moose, the lead detective in the D.C. sniper shootings, which were blamed on a black man. He's dead at 68, and as I've talked about before with the D.C. sniper attacks, they ended on the day leaving 68 days left in the year. Remember, CIA 68. This was a year after 9/11, a huge ritual that started in 1968. And again, after 9/11, we went over to Afghanistan and brought back the poppy production, and now the world's flooded with heroin. And lo and behold, in 1968, that was the year the feds approved fentanyl. And then after they ban Oxycontin, an opioid, then fentanyl floods the market that's way deadlier. That's the mockery of the government and society we have. They're celebrating like they did something good, our government, by taking down Oxycontin. And then they make it so that fentanyl, which is even worse and more deadly and more addictive, is flooded everywhere. And again, that's why people need to wake up to what government is. Our government is a sick joke that's not protecting anyone and making everyone's quality of life worse and worse. Making us grind, go to their slave school, collecting taxes from us. It's amazing that people go along with it. But yeah, this guy, man, it's just so blatant. And then he died on a date with 77 numerology, and DC's the city on the 77th meridian west. That's why on 9/11 they said Flight 77 hit the 77-foot-tall Pentagon 77 minutes after taking off. Plus, when you write out September 11th, it equals 77 like United States. And Pentagon construction began September 11th, 1941, right before Pearl Harbor, called 9/11 the new Pearl Harbor. Buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell in New York. Pearl Harbor was on 12/7, Bavarian Illuminati 127. Something that just went in my brain that I wanted to say and then it escaped before I could even remember what it was. Shoot. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, the DC sniper attacks lasted 3 weeks. Think about that. When you write out 3, it equals 56, like Washington, D.C., like light. Genesis 1:3, where God makes light, the Illuminati, the Jesuits in the light, having the knowledge, in the dark, not having a clue, being mocked every day, thinking everything's a coincidence. And by the way, just with regards to all the Omicron number of the beast stuff, well, notice the news was real big about it on the 26th, right? And the vaccine companies came out and said in 100 days they can have a new vaccine tweaked for Omicron ready, and that'll be in the time of Pisces. Omicron is a star in the constellation of Pisces. Pisces is 26, like the news on the 26th, like COVID, like virus, like plague, like China. Big number that's been with the ritual the whole time. Omicron 42, like astrology. Pisces goes from February 19th to March 20th. And Look at this. I had to measure because Pfizer came out right away and said they could do it in 100 days. So I had to measure from November 26th when they said it to 100 days later is March 6th, right? March 6th, like 3-6, like 666 is the 36th triangular number. Vaccination 666. How this huge thing is a big number of the beast 666 ritual. So again, it's all Jesuit. It's all Order of Illuminati, from killing people to pulling 1, 2, 3, and 10 million over on us in the time of the pandemic. It's these same Jesuits. By the way, the star in Pisces is called Omicron Piscium, which has the same gematria as the Jesuit order in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. The Omicron strain's also 20184, like the Jesuit order. All of this is biblical. The Bible's astrotheology. So, I already covered the rest of this on Gematria Effect News 24. If you guys aren't subscribed to Gematria Effect News 24, that's where I'm putting out all the new content right now. That's the channel that doesn't have the strikes. So, and notice the little strategy by doing the porn thumbnail just to see what would happen. Notice it got more views. Isn't it sad? People are probably disappointed it wasn't porn and turned it off. But anyway, what are you going to do? Oh, by the way, the Omicron out of South Africa. South Africa has that gematria-like revelation. Remember, the first confirmed case of coronavirus in the world outside of China was on January 21st in Washington State. Washington equals 49 in the same cipher as revelation in South Africa on 121 in the 49 state. Again, it's just... In Bill Gates' backyard, when Bill Gates equals 87, like number of the beast, and he supposedly got the vaccine on his 87th day of his age on January 22nd, like Satanic 122, same day that Kobe played his 666th career game. Don't forget, Kobe died at the beginning of the pandemic and was buried in Corona del Mar, which equals 56 and 70, like coronavirus. In the same ciphers, Corona del Mar is 5670, like coronavirus. And again, Omicron's has a numerical value of 70 in the Greek alphabet. Again, people who don't recognize the symbols don't see the way they're being mocked, like this, with the gun at the forehead and the right hand up there. Biblical, you get the mark on the right hand or the forehead. And they're telling you what the plan is for the people of this world, including all of its little itty-bitty children, who can't fight back. They're relying on their parents, but their parents are living in the dark. Okay. People are probably saying, what about Jack Dorsey stepping down today? Speaking of, Jesuits, Jack Patrick Dorsey, 72 like Jesuit order. Again, all a big tech is, he's stepping down at age 45 on a 45 date numerology. IHS, the acronym for Isus Hominum Salvator, what's in their logo is 45. He's from St. Louis, where one of the Jesuit universities is. And Jack's 29, stepping down on the 29th. But I noticed the Indian man who will be replacing him, he's got the right name for Twitter. So I couldn't find the guy who's replacing him's birthday, but I'm sure that's the ritual. Whenever they put this guy's birthday out, I'll go back and look, see how many days it was from his birthday to being replaced. And, again, I don't mean to be racist, but you go to Seattle, where the big tech companies are, or just any place these big tech companies are, almost all the employees are Indian, and if you talk to several of them, they'll admit to you that the stuff that they're doing, they kind of feel guilty about, because they know they're building a surveillance state, but they're getting paid so well. And I think that's part of the reason that they dumb down America, and, these big tech companies that operate out of this country, they bring in all these foreigners, because it's easier to build the surveillance state in a nation where you don't really know the people and it's not your country. I'm sure they realize it's eventually going to go back to their country, but they already look at their country like it's this fucked shithole anyway, so what's the difference? But this is what's going on. This is the New World Order, you guys. This is the Illuminati. This is how they do it. They just exploit human psychology. But yeah, you look at these big tech companies. Google's got Sundar Pichai, 201. Google celebrates its birthday the same day the Jesuits are recognized by Rome. But all these guys just fronts for the big Jesuit cabal. Big techs, all Jesuit. Government's all Jesuit. Big corporations are all Jesuit. People need to wake up. It's not all just a big coincidence. All right. Here, I'll check just to make sure there's not any breaking news, and if not, we'll wrap it up. Today's Russell Wilson's 33rd birthday, you guys. Are you going to say happy birthday to Russell Wilson? You know what they got him doing on his 33rd birthday? They got him playing the other Washington team. You know, today Russell Wilson turns 33, and what do we always teach about MNF? It's always about the 33. So, I know that Heineke comes into the game 4-7. You see how MNF's also 48? Just speaking of the Seahawks, remember the only Super Bowl they ever won was Super Bowl 48. You see how Seahawks is 48 in reverse? In the most Pierce cipher, it's 43, like how they scored 43 points in that game. But notice this. Super Bowl 48 was the 94th NFL season, Seattle, Washington, 94. And after the game, Russell Wilson's grandpa died at age 94. Just like Bill Gates' dad just died last year by the numbers at age 94. And again, big number with Bill Gates all throughout his career. Remember, the coronavirus pandemic for the world pretty much began in Seattle. I guess you could say China, but the first case outside of China in the world was in Seattle, Washington. Coronavirus pandemic, 94. Bill Gates declared a decade of vaccines on his 94th day of his age, exactly 1 decade before this happened, and he did it in Davos, Switzerland, which is also 94. Him and Melinda were married on the first day of 94. His mom died that year. Again, these things aren't arbitrary. Kurt Cobain, dead by the numbers in 94, synced up with both Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. Amazon established in Seattle in 94. Start to realize this stuff's a lot bigger than just some random athlete. Again, these guys are all born into it. And look at Russell Wilson's name, 54, right? Just like Jesuit order. Also 81, and again, he plays for the Seahawks 87. It almost makes me wonder if somehow it's connected to the Lee Elder death today at age 87, because Monday Night Football is also 87, and he's dead on Russell Wilson's birthday. Again, it's like a fraternity of actors, bloodlines, all connected families, players in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere along the way there's a relationship between Russell Wilson and Lee Elder. So, maybe somebody will figure it out. And yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed to Gematria Effect News 24, you're missing a lot of content. So check that out. And if you want to watch Jonathan and I's show last night, I found out about this guy named Crank Lewis. I think he is hilarious. He has the best skit I've ever seen on the internet. I think I'm ranking that as the funniest thing I've ever seen on the internet, what I played last night. So it's in that show. We get to it around an hour and a half into the show. But anyway, we'll leave it there for now, you guys. Oh, hold on. I gotta tell you one more thing since we're on Gematria Effect Sports. I'm so mad, man. I'm so mad about something yesterday. It was so clear to me last night when they had Michael Strahan on the screen and they were congratulating the Giants on getting to 3-3 at home on the day, leaving 33 days left in the year. You know how at the beginning of last week, Michael Strahan was in the news because it was announced that Jeff Bezos of Amazon is going to send Michael Strahan to space? And we looked at this, and I said, it's interesting that Michael Strahan is from Houston, because Houston's associated with NASA, and that phrase, Houston, we have a problem, in the Apollo 13 mission. But by the way, Houston equals 112, like Blue Origin, like how Jeff Bezos' birthday is January 12th, like how the Jesuits operate in 112 countries. Well, look at this yesterday in the NFL. It was a rare day because both New York teams won. His Giants won as they retired his jersey. This is only, in the 8 years I've been doing this is only the second time I've ever seen a home team win when they did a jersey retirement ceremony. Almost always the home team loses when they do a jersey retirement ceremony. I've seen a lot of them. I mean, a lot. I've seen 2 where it didn't happen. This is the second one. And notice, both New York teams won. The Giants beat the Eagles, and they got to 3-3 at home on the day, leaving 33 days left in the year. Michael, in the most Pierce ciphers, 33. New York, when you run it in reverse, is 33. They retired Michael Strahan's jersey, who's now a regular on what? He does one of the Today shows, morning shows, on one of the major networks. But then the Jets were in Houston. They were in his hometown, and they won on the day the Giants retired his jersey. Again, it just shows you how structured and scripted all this shit is, and how some of these guys were born to be in the league because, the league scripts and seasons have been written around these people. And, of course, he's a Super Bowl winner. He's one of the guys that beat Tom Brady. But, last night they were congratulating Strahan, and they had on the screen when they were talking about, as they retired his jersey, that the Giants got to 3-3 at home. And then I was like, wait a minute. At the beginning of the week, I was just talking about how he's from Houston, and the Jets beat Houston today as well. It's just a joke, man. Pro sports are a joke. This Jesuit network, they're good at what they do, but they really are a joke, man. They're a joke, too. So anyway, we'll leave it there. That's enough for now.